What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here for Ready to Love Season 5, The Reunion, Part 1. Now, I do notice that with the reunion, they actually said Ready to Love DC Reunion. Very interesting, you guys. I don't know why. I don't know why they do the seasons the way that they're doing them. It's kind of like what WeTV does, and I'm wondering if they have the same thing, right? But yeah, this is season 5 or DC or whatever the hell you want to call it. Because if you guys don't know, next week is part 2 of the reunion. Then after that, we have the brand new season of Ready to Love DMV. So we're still in the DMV. Now I will say though, I did see the cast. I thought it was interesting that we only have 7 men and 7 women. So I'm wondering if they're gonna round it out by bringing in, additional people, right? Because it's going to be really interesting that they have 7 men and 7 women. But we'll see, you guys. So before we get into the reunion, if you guys are watching this video or any other on my channel and you guys are not subscribed to the channel, I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date, having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me the favor by liking this video, you guys, turning on your notifications, subscribe to the channel, and sharing the video. And you guys, with that out of the way, without further ado, shall we discuss Ready to Love, you guys? All right, you guys, so Ready to Love. So we have a new host. Well, we don't have a new host. We have a substitute host, right? So Nephew Tommy told us, so I tested positive for COVID, you guys. So I'm not going to be there. So yeah, Tommy's not going to be there. So he has his girl, Tanika Ray. Now, I've saw Tanika before. I just don't know where I saw Tanika at. But I definitely saw Tanika. I just can't remember where I saw her. So first question that I have is, who in the hell did the makeup on these women? The makeup is atrocious. God, the makeup and the fashion's horrible, except for Sabrina. Because I actually just saw Sabrina yesterday when she posted her behind the scenes of the reunion. She did her own gown. I think she did her own makeup. Sabrina's makeup and Tanika's were the best makeup. Everybody else looked a mess. Because I kept looking at Aisha, that blonde wig. The wig wasn't bad. It was Aisha's makeup. I'm like, did y'all not know that her makeup does not match her neck whatsoever? I'm not even a makeup connoisseur. I don't know shit about makeup, but I knew that her makeup was off. I was looking at her, I'm like, her face looks like at first I said she looked like a trophy. But then when I looked at her a little bit differently, I thought her face was gold. But I'm like, no, it's not really gold. It looks greenish. It looks like The Mask. And it was just so pound on and so thick. And I'm just like, oh, that looks a mess. Then you got Zadia, who was grinning, skinning and grinning the entire time with her light ass makeup. I'm like, that makeup up here. I was like, what the fuck is this up here around Zadia's forehead? Then Camille and her wig. I'm like, did they not think to pull Camille's wig down? Because Camille's wig was right back here. And you could just see her big ass forehead. Cornelius, why did you have the grill, my dude? It wasn't a good look. Who else? Sydney. Sydney's makeup was terrible. Sydney looked darker. I don't know if Sydney went and got a spray tan or a tan before the reunion and then they did her makeup, but the makeup was just bad. Mumine, her dress and her wig, more specifically that wig, the wig looked like she just slapped it on and she didn't even flat iron it. She didn't do nothing to that wig. It just looked like she took it out the package and just shook it and threw it on her head and said, let's go. It is what it is, you guys, but the makeup, suffice to sum it up, some people's makeup was either too light, too dark, or too ashy looking. Just saying. And this is coming from someone who doesn't know shit about makeup. So we start the reunion and we start up talking about Sean, you guys. And they show Sean's package. And Tanika asked Sean, like, why did you say hallelujah? Like, what was that about? He says, you always got to praise the Lord, which you do, right? But then he said that with this process, he just felt like there was this pressure there to make a decision, right? Even if you're not yet there, if you're still trying to figure out if this person is for me, if this person is not for me. And I actually understood that, right? He said he wasn't trying to be fake or anything, like just try to be in a relationship to make it to the end of the show. And that I definitely respect, because you guys know that is a big issue of mine with Ready to Love, that I feel like a lot of these people go through this process. They link up, they get into these quote unquote relationships only to make it to the end of the show. But I do have the question of, do they even get paid for this, right? Because that's just what I wonder, right? So yeah, he says that he wasn't trying to fake it to make it to the end, right? So then, they talk about Sabrina and, when he met her friends, right? And Sabrina was woman enough to say, you know what, for that, my friends don't know what goes on behind the scenes and all that stuff. They were just looking out for me. But what she did do was she apologized to him. And I was I like that about Sabrina. Oh, also, yeah, speaking of Sabrina, go and check out Sabrina's YouTube channel. She did, like I said, she did some behind the scenes stuff for the reunion. And then she posted a video yesterday. So she is going to be reviewing the next season of Ready to Love. So you guys go check out Sabrina. I actually really like Sabrina. So then we move over and we talk about Sydney, right? So we all know Sydney, when she came into the... Now see, here's the thing that kind of is interesting to me when it comes to Sydney. When Sydney came on the scene, she had her initial connection with Frank, but then along the lines, she got her connection with Phil, right? So Sydney says that she was instantly attracted to Phil, right? I didn't know that. Did you guys? I didn't see that, because what they showed us was her and her interactions with Frank. So I would have never guessed that she was instantly attracted to Phil. But she said she wasn't. Phil says, well, you guys saw my reaction, so obviously, right? So then he says that, Sydney is really different. And Tanika says, so what makes her so different, right? He says it was the conversations that him and Sydney had with each other. Here we go again, Ready to Love. Like, he's saying that they had conversations with each other, but we didn't see them. So it's like we have to go through and plug in the whole, like plug in pieces. It's like a puzzle piece. It's like y'all give us this box with puzzle pieces in it and say, hey, put this puzzle together. Oh, but also, yeah, there are some pieces that are missing in there. So you're gonna have to go dig for them to find them. Because I know that they post stuff on the YouTube channel. I'm not gonna sit. If I sit here and watch a 4-hour worth of a show, including commercials, I'm not then gonna go over to your YouTube channel and watch deleted scenes. That makes no sense to me. Why don't y'all just, and now if, you know what, because I'm the one that's been saying this, and I think there's some other YouTubers who probably have said this, but what y'all need to do is put them in a house, so that way we can see everything. Put them in a house, kind of like the Big Brother house. Put them in a house, record everything, so that way we don't miss anything. We don't miss if Dante and Aisha have a connection. We don't miss that. We don't come back and be like, well, we never saw, well, we 10 episodes in and we're just now seeing this. Put these people in the house, right? So Sydney says, so Tanika asked Sydney, so when Frank, he started having his connection with Mumin, did that make it easy for you to choose Phil? She says, no, it really didn't. She says, I really didn't make a decision on Phil into the end. So she was still going back and forth between Phil and Frank. I was like, really, Sydney? Because going off the last few episodes, especially after that retreat that y'all went on, I never saw you with Frank anymore after that. I saw Frank with Mumin. So, hey, it is, again, they probably left a lot of shit out, right? So then Tanika asked them, are they exclusively dating? So at this point, Sydney and Phil are exclusively dating. She asked about engagement. They're not at that point yet, right? But they are exclusively dating. So we're gonna move forward, you guys. So next up, we talk about crazy ass Camille. So they shows, Camille's package plus some stuff that we missed with Camille. So Camille, I want you to go to a mental institution. I don't know if you think that that's funny or if that's cute, right? The fact that you're sitting there talking about you got 3 different persons. It's Camille, it's Olivia, and it's Shay Shay. It's Camille, it's crazy, and it's crazier. Like, girl, you are a nutcase. So Tanika asked the question, does Camille and Cornelius live with each other? They said no. I'm like, Cornelius, you should thank your lucky stars because this woman is batshit fucking crazy with those facial expressions. But she said that she went to therapy and she don't have those personalities anymore. That is not something to joke about, Camille. You are a woman in your 40s and you're joking about some shit like that. That is not funny. There are real people out here who do have the correct term for that is not split personality, it's dissociative identity disorder. There are people out here who do have that. There are people out here who do have mental issues, and here you are making a joke of it. I don't like that. I don't fuck with that. Then Camille wants to sit here and blame which I know she's done that on social media because I definitely saw her, especially on Instagram. Camille loves to blame everything that they show on the show. She chalks it up to editing. And I'm like, and even me and Sabrina said the same thing. There's only so much editing that they can do. And even take that part, let's take that out, right? There's only so much editing they can do. Also, they can only edit what you give them, right? That is all that they can edit. Just like with me, like with these videos, I can only edit so much stuff out of these videos, right? Because I am the one that's recording these videos. Yes, there are things that I edit out, but it's not like I'm going back in, and unless I go in and put a voice over, which you guys very rarely see me put a voice over. Or if I put in, there's only so much, they can only edit what you give them. And you gave them that shit to edit. Now, yes, do they probably, cut and splice shit? They probably cut, split, and, they probably don't put things in the correct order, right? I know that they don't do that. But at the same token, like I just said a few minutes ago, they can only edit what you give them. You gave them the material. They went into their editing room. They edited. They got behind their computers and they edited. But you gave it to them. So stop saying, they edit you. So then she wanted to say she wasn't possessive of Cornelius. I'm like, I don't care who tell it. And that was the whole thing that this part one of the reunion, honestly, you guys, it pissed me off. It pissed me off because it's just like it was gaslighting. It was a whole lot of gaslighting from the Colorist Collective. Zadius over there skinning and grinning like a Cheshire cat. Camille and her facial expressions, and Naeem, and then Cornelius. Those four got on my fucking nerves, and we're gonna definitely talk about it in just a minute. We're gonna talk about them, right? I love the fact that Aisha did not bite her tongue. So Tanika said we're gonna go to a commercial break, and Aisha even said they're only editing what the fuck you gave them. You gave them that shit to edit. You are rude as fuck to people. You showed up on set. They recorded you, and they edited a certain way, right? But it's not like they add, again, like I'm going to say, because it's going to come up again. They didn't add shit. They didn't take a clip of you saying one thing. What I'm trying to say is they didn't take audio, right? Because it's quite possible. It happens a lot. We see it on Real Housewives, Atlanta, Potomac, all of them, right? Where we don't necessarily see the person. Like, let's go back to season 11 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. You guys, excuse me, guys. You guys remember when Nene was in that closet, right? Remember they cut the scene. They didn't show everything. And you remember you guys heard Portia screaming, "I'm scared." Girl, how were you? Oh my God, you guys. Portia. This is not the video about Portia, but I use that as an example, and she's screaming she was scared. But girl, you on your own show fighting Coach Dennis. So yeah, you guys, to all of my subscribers, I do want to say this to you guys, because I know a lot of you guys have come at me about me liking Portia. If you guys want to say anything to me about Portia, you guys are free to say whatever about Portia. I will be a grown up and be a man and take it. You guys, people have tried to warn me for years about my love for Portia. So yeah, if you guys want to be like JB, yep, because somebody came at me when she got engaged to Simon and like, I know you love Portia, so you're not gonna talk about her. Yes, I was gonna talk about her, but yeah, if you guys want to come at me about Portia, feel free to do so. That's all I want to say, and we're back to the show. But yeah, so that's not what happened in this show. They didn't take they didn't isolate a clip of a footage of you saying one thing, and we not see you on camera with your lips moving saying that. It's kind of all the stuff that you said. But like I said, we'll come back to it in just a little bit, right? So then we move over and we talk about Tyrone and Shiloh, right? So unfortunately, Shiloh didn't make it to the reunion. I would love to know why Shiloh didn't make it to the reunion. I wonder if it has anything to do with the Phil situation. Like, I really do wonder that. But I'm not going to harp on it. You know, Shiloh felt like, you know, she didn't come. She didn't come. So we're not going to talk about it. But we do talk about Tyrone and his conversation that he had with Carrie, right? So Tyrone does say that, you know, with the conversation with Carrie, he does wish that he had said things differently. And he was able to clean up what he said to Carrie. And Carrie was, forgiving. And she says that they're in a good place. So that's really it for them. And then we're going to talk about Cornelius, right? So Cornelius, Tanika's asking him about his process, right? So Cornelius is saying that him and his process, he did have a process with the other women. Now, if they didn't, you know, see it, that's on them. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what process did you have with the other women? Because the moment you came into the mansion, Camille eagle-eyed her way onto you, right? So what process did you have? Camille was like an attack dog. When any woman would come around you, it was like repellent, like, stay away, right? So I don't know what Cornelius was talking about. I was like, I'm confused, right? But I think even the rest of the ladies were confused because you saw Sabrina make a face, you saw Aisha. It was like, what process did you go through? But he says he knew that they had a connection. I don't care. I really don't care when it comes to Cornelius and Camille. If he wants to be with the nutcase, let him be with that nutcase, right? So Courtney says that she didn't feel any type of way that, you know, Camille was running her off or anything. Now, the other ladies may have felt that way, but she didn't feel that way, right? But she does say that Camille was a bit aggressive and that Camille was a bully. And Camille's like, didn't we just talk about that aggressive word? Yes, we did talk about that aggressive word. And yes, you know, we don't typically like to say aggressive when it comes to black women. That's true, right? But we can't skate around that word if it applies. In this situation, Camille, you very much so were very aggressive towards the rest of the women. You showed aggression towards them. And we're going to talk about you being aggressive towards the ladies in just a little bit. But you very much so were aggressive and you very much was a bully. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But, so Camille addressed Aisha, right? So she said she texted Aisha, right? And she said she was gonna issue an apology if she kept saying if Camille, that's not my nose ring, you guys. Why y'all ain't telling me that my nose ring was just hanging out? Y'all are rude. I thought we were better than that, y'all. Now y'all got me sitting up here looking like I'm digging in my nose. I thought we were better than that. Where we at? What was I talking about before y'all just didn't tell me, JB, your nose ring is hanging out a little bit. Camille. So she was talking about if she was gonna give an apology, but she kept saying if. That's not an apology. If you have to say if in an apology, if or but in an apology, you don't mean it. So then Sabrina and Zadi got into it, right? Because Tanika said, you know, it kind of looked different on camera, right? Because you came at the rest of the women, but you didn't come at Zadia. And I'm like, yeah, that's that brown girl squad. And I love the fact that Sabrina piped up and said, you know, she went off on Zadia. And Zadia got in her feelings. That smile, that big ass smile that Zadia had on her face, it went down. She was like, and Tanika said, so would Sabrina be a part of the brown girls squad? She said, Sabrina's not my friend. You just heard her cussing me out. And Sabrina said, bitch, you ain't tried to get to know me this entire time. And then Zadia got in her feelings and walked off. Girl, bye, Zadia. It's so interesting, right? Because I'm thinking back to my original review, my first few reviews of this season. I liked Zadia. I remember that. I liked Zadia. But going toward the end of the season, I just couldn't stand Zadia. I couldn't stand Zadia. So, so we're gonna move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So we're gonna wrap up the episode. So we talked about Frank and Ramin. I'm not gonna dig deep into that Frank and Ramin situation because I told you guys that it was not going to last. I knew that Frank and Ramin, there was no connection between them. I just knew that it was nothing there between Frank and Ramin. I had been saying it. And I was slightly surprised in last week's finale when Frank and Ramin chose each other. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? And who was it that said something to me? I don't want to say the wrong person, but I know you guys get in the comment section. I can't remember who it was that left the comment that with Frank and Ramin, the production probably went to Frank and Ramin after Walter and Sabrina didn't make it, and they said we just need one more. We need somebody to make it, and they had to make it because Ramin said that there was nothing even after the finale. I knew that. I just knew that there was nothing between Frank and Ramin. But hey, it is what it is. I said it. I knew it. I'm not surprised that they are not together, right? So then we end the episode and we talk about the blow up that happened at that dinner table when they were on that retreat, right? So here's where all of the gaslighting, I mean, the gaslighting just ensued in this moment. And I was just like, what the fuck? First, it was Naeem. So Naeem is sitting here talking about the fact that, you know, in the first deliberation with the men, that 8 of the 9 men, they chose Zadia as their person, right? So I guess he was saying that to say that maybe the rest of the women were jealous of Zadia. I don't know what that meant, but I guess that's what he was trying to say, that the rest of the women were jealous of Zadia. And all the women said, how in the fuck were we supposed to know that you guys chose Zadia? How were we supposed to know that? And even Sydney said that, how were they supposed to know? And see, at that dinner table, Sydney was there, right? So if you're trying to imply that the ladies were jealous that the men earlier in the season had picked Zadia as their number 1, how does that apply to Sydney? Sydney wasn't there in the beginning. Sydney came at the halfway point, right? So make that shit make sense to me. Like, it made no sense to me. It felt like he was just grasping at straws trying to defend Zadia. Basically, the same way he was trying to defend Zadia when she got in. Is his name Dante, you guys? Please let me know. The same way she got in Dante's face, you guys. So that's my question. Like, how? So I'm stuck on stupid. I'm stuck on stupid. Literally, I'm stuck on stupid. And my thing is with Zadia, the women didn't have an issue with Zadia because of that. The issue with Zadia is that the fact that Zadia is what? Rude as fuck is my issue. I think that's the biggest issue. Zadia is rude. So then they talk about the fact that, you know, remember, at the dinner table, Camille said that if any of the women tried to send Cornelius home, she would have fucked them up. You guys remember that, right? We talked about that at length on the channel. So Zadia was like, well, you know, the thing is, Aisha was coming at Cornelius and Camille because they had already solidified themselves and she didn't have a connection. And Tanika was like, wait, she didn't have a connection. She did have 2 connections. She had a connection with Frank and she had a connection with Dante. So what are you talking about? Then Zadia says, well, she hadn't made her choice at that point. And then Tanika chimed in and says, well, Zadia, it can be the same thing can be said for you, right? You had a connection with Naeem and you had a connection with Dante. You hadn't made a choice yet, so what are you talking about, Zadia? So then Cornelius wants to chime in and he wants to sit there and say that, oh, you know, because we moved on from there. We got back onto the fact that Camille told the ladies that she would fuck them up. Actually, I think it was Aisha who brought that back up. It is. Aisha's the one that brought that back up. And Cornelius is like, well, I never heard her say that. And Naeem says, yeah, I didn't hear that either. And Camille says, I never said that. They were like, we just watched it on camera. So Tanika was like, producers, can you guys play that back for us? Because she was like, I had my hand in my mouth like this, so I didn't say it. They just put in a clip. They just, it was someone else who said it. Girl, what the fuck? Do you think we're stupid? So Tanika said, run that shit back. Run it back. So they played it back, right? And you literally see Camille with she did have her finger in her mouth. And she's like, if y'all send him home, I'll fuck y'all up. I'll fuck y'all up. So Camille, we're seeing it again for the second time. Actually, the third time because they played it more than once. So explain that situation. Like, how can you make up a lie with this one? You said it. Own up to the shit. Like, I really don't. There are a select few people in this cast that I actually like. There are a select few people in this cast that I literally like. So Tasia got upset and she walked off stage. I'm kind of, with Tasia, I understood why she got upset. Her mother is in a hospital and y'all arguing about dumb shit, right? Tasia, you probably should have done the same thing that Shiloh did and just not came to the reunion, because obviously you guys are not getting paid, because if you guys were getting paid, Shiloh would have been at that reunion. I'm not saying that she needed the money, but yeah, y'all can't be getting paid for this show. But that's it, you guys. Please let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel, you guys. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe out there. Please take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, you guys, socially distance, and be blessed. And I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys in the next review. So I am going to be doing Ladies Who List. Is that the name of that show? Ladies Who List Atlanta. I think that's the name of that show. I'll see you guys in that one. Bye.